Many times we believe that overthinking is a way of preparing ourselves for what's ahead. We imagine that if we analyze every possibility, we'll be able to avoid disappointment. But in reality, this mental overactivity often leads to exhaustion, anxiety, and a constant sense of emotional fatigue. When the mind spins endlessly, revisiting old events or inventing worrisome scenarios about the future, we end up drifting away from what truly matters, the present moment. In Buddhist wisdom, there is a deep understanding that calming the mind doesn't mean rejecting or suppressing feelings. It's about welcoming them with clarity, openness, and kindness. In this journey, we will explore 10 Buddhist teachings to slow down the mind and find a more peaceful state, even when life feels heavy. The first teaching is this: observe your thoughts like clouds passing through the sky. The mind will always produce thoughts, just as the lungs naturally breathe. It's constant and inevitable, but you don't have to chase after every idea that arises. Most of our suffering doesn't come from the thought itself, but from the grip we have on it, letting it control our inner state. Imagine yourself sitting on a quiet hillside, looking at an open sky. A thought appears like a distant cloud. You don't try to grab it. You don't force it to stay. You simply notice it, let it drift, and return to your calm. Practicing this non-attachment creates a gentle space between you and your ideas, allowing the heaviness to lighten. At first, this might feel challenging because the mind is used to pulling you into its stories, especially when pain, anxiety, or unpleasant memories are involved. But with patience and consistency, observing without clinging becomes natural. That's when true freedom begins, in the awareness that you are not your thoughts, but the space in which they come and go. The second teaching is, simplify your worries. The mind has an almost automatic habit of complicating everything. It focuses on small details, creates problems that don't yet exist, replays old conversations, and clings to useless distractions. Over time, this leaves us heavy, scattered, and drained. What if, when faced with a concern, you asked yourself, does this truly matter? Will it make any difference a week or a month from now? Many times, the quiet answer will be no. Simplifying isn't about avoiding responsibility. It's about clearing out the excess that consumes too much mental energy. It's like tidying up a cluttered room. You get rid of what no longer serves you, create space, and invite clarity. When the mind isn't crowded with petty irritations and what-if scenarios, more attention is left for what truly matters: caring for yourself, being present with those you love, and protecting your inner peace. The third teaching touches on a vital point: release the past and stop living trapped in the future. The mind loves to carry us through time, backward, reliving pain and mistakes, or forward, imagining disasters that may never come. We spend hours replaying old hurts or projecting fears, but all of this robs us of the only reality we have: now. The present is where life truly unfolds. Everything else is memory or projection. Of course, the past can teach us, but we don't have to keep living there. The future can be planned but never controlled. The more we stay on these mental trips, the more we miss the small gifts around us: the sound of laughter, the soft light streaming through the window, the aroma of a warm meal. Buddhist practice constantly calls us back to the present because that's where healing and clarity live. Over time, yesterday's pain and tomorrow's fear lose their grip, and the present becomes a safe, nourishing refuge. The fourth teaching is both simple and powerful. Cultivate gratitude for the small things. Too often, we postpone happiness while waiting for a grand moment. We think we'll be satisfied only when everything aligns perfectly. But lasting joy usually comes from noticing the details: the taste of a warm drink, an unexpected hug, a few minutes of stillness at day's end. When we train our eyes to notice and value these small blessings, our hearts open in a different way. Gratitude shifts the focus from lack to abundance. It helps us stop counting what's missing and start recognizing what is already here. It doesn't mean ignoring hardships, but finding beauty even within imperfect circumstances. In Buddhism, gratitude is a form of presence. When you are grateful, you are awake, aware, and recognizing that life, even in its simplicity, is filled with subtle wonders. The fifth teaching is intimate and transformative. Be compassionate with yourself. We live in a culture that glorifies performance, perfection and endurance. Because of this, many people develop a harsh inner dialogue, treating themselves with severity whenever they fail. We point out our flaws coldly, ignore our limits, and demand more from ourselves than is healthy. But what if we changed that inner voice? What if we became our own source of care rather than our toughest critic? Self-compassion is about recognizing that being human involves mistakes, pauses, emotions, and fresh starts. When you stumble, instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" try asking, "What do I need right now?" This change is profound. Buddhist teaching reminds us that healing doesn't start with instant fixing, but with gentle attention, the same kindness you would offer to someone you love. Being gentle with yourself doesn't weaken you. It strengthens your ability to be present and patient with others. Compassion begins within and radiates outward, touching family, friends, and even strangers. A compassionate heart is not fragile. It's quietly strong, capable of holding both yourself and others through difficult moments. The sixth teaching invites you to breathe with awareness. Breathing is the simplest, most accessible anchor we have to bring the mind back to the present. Yet, because it's automatic, we rarely notice it. In moments of stress, anxiety, or confusion, taking a few intentional breaths can transform your internal state. Close your eyes and draw in a slow, deep breath. Feel the cool air entering, your lungs expanding, your chest rising. Hold for a moment and then exhale gently, sensing your body soften. This mindful breathing is not about controlling every inhale and exhale, but about letting them become a bridge between your body and mind. In Buddhist practice, the breath is like a loyal friend, always present, always ready to guide you back when the mind drifts. You don't need any special place or tool to practice it. You can breathe mindfully while waiting in line, walking, or before responding to someone in a tense conversation. Over time, breathing with awareness becomes a quiet refuge, a reminder that you have the power to return to calm no matter the chaos around you. The seventh teaching is, let go of control. We often suffer not only because of life's unpredictability, but because we resist it. The need to control every detail, people, outcomes, timing, can be exhausting. We believe that if we hold tightly enough, nothing will go wrong. But life, by its very nature, refuses to be fully tamed. Letting go doesn't mean neglecting responsibility or giving up. It means accepting that some things are beyond your reach and that not everything must unfold according to your script. In Buddhism, this surrender is not defeat, it's liberation. It frees you from the constant tension of wrestling with reality. You still make plans, set goals, and act with intention, but you release the need to dictate every twist of the journey. This openness creates space for unexpected blessings to appear. Moments you could never have planned yet are exactly what you needed. The eighth teaching is deeply restorative. Create moments of silence. In a noisy world, silence is rare and often uncomfortable at first. We're used to constant background sounds, conversations, notifications, music, TV, filling every gap. But in silence, the mind begins to unclench. It's in these quiet spaces that insights often arise, where emotions reveal their true shape, and where peace has room to settle. Try spending even a few minutes in stillness each day. It could be early in the morning before the world stirs, or at night when the day winds down. Turn off distractions, sit comfortably, and just be. You don't have to meditate in a perfect lotus pose. You can simply allow yourself to rest in the absence of noise. Over time, you may discover that silence isn't empty at all. It's full of clarity, presence, and subtle beauty. The ninth teaching carries a gentle challenge. Forgive even when it's hard. Holding on to resentment is like carrying a burning coal, expecting it to hurt someone else, when in reality, it only burns you. The mind believes that by clinging to anger, we maintain a sense of justice or protection, but in truth we remain bound to the pain, unable to move forward. Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing harm or pretending it didn't happen. It's an act of freeing yourself from the weight of the past. It's choosing not to let someone else's actions dictate your peace. Sometimes, forgiveness is not a one-time act but a process, a decision you renew each time bitterness resurfaces. Buddhism teaches that forgiveness is as much for you as for the other person. It's a release, a letting go, and in that openness, healing finally begins to grow. The 10th and final teaching is a reminder that ties them all together. Live each day with mindful intention. We often rush through life on autopilot, reacting to events without truly engaging with them. But living with intention means pausing to ask, what am I choosing today? Where am I placing my energy? What seeds am I planting with my words and actions? This awareness transforms ordinary moments into sacred ones. Washing dishes becomes an act of care. Speaking to someone becomes an opportunity for kindness, and even small gestures carry meaning. In Buddhist understanding, every action shapes the path ahead. By living mindfully, you stop drifting and start directing your life toward what matters most. If you practice these teachings, even slowly, one at a time, you'll notice changes. The mind will still wander, challenges will still appear, but you'll carry within you a quieter, steadier center. Each lesson works like a thread, weaving calm and clarity into the fabric of your days. Over time, your relationship with your thoughts will shift. They will no longer be storm clouds blocking your view, but passing patterns in a vast open sky. And in that space, life begins to feel lighter, not because it's free of difficulties, but because you are no longer trapped in them. You become both the witness and the gentle guide of your own journey, present, steady, and quietly at peace. Now, if you've been following along until here, I'd like to gently invite you to stay connected. If you find comfort, reflection, or even a little light in these words, consider subscribing to our channel, not as a formality, but as a way to share this path together. Here, we grow slowly, breathe deeply, and keep each other company in the practice of mindful living. Click that subscribe button not just to receive new teachings, but to build a small space of stillness and inspiration in your daily routine. We'll continue walking this path, one step at a time, in kindness and awareness. When you truly begin to walk with these teachings, something subtle yet powerful starts to shift inside you. The world outside may remain unpredictable, full of its usual noise, demands, and constant motion, but the world within becomes steadier, like a calm lake that no longer ripples at every passing wind. This inner stillness doesn't mean you become detached from life or lose your passion. Rather, you find that you can engage more deeply because you are no longer swept away by every emotional current. Imagine a day where challenges arise, perhaps a conversation that could have led to conflict, an unexpected delay, or a plan that falls apart. In the past, these moments might have triggered immediate frustration, worry, or a cascade of reactive thoughts. But now, with mindful practice, you notice the space between what happens and how you respond. In that space lies your freedom. You choose words more carefully, you breathe before acting, and you recognize that not everything needs an instant reaction. It's in these small daily decisions that the deeper transformation takes root. The teachings you've absorbed are not abstract ideas. They are living tools you use in the middle of ordinary life. You begin to see that mindfulness is not limited to meditation cushions or silent retreats. It's present when you listen without interrupting, when you savor a single cup of tea without rushing, when you pause to watch the light shift through your window. In Buddhism, the image of the lotus flower is often used to describe the awakened heart. The lotus grows in muddy water, yet it blooms pure and untainted. Likewise, your mind learns to grow in the messiness of human life, in the deadlines, the misunderstandings, the joys, and even the grief. You are no longer waiting for the perfect moment to live with clarity and compassion. You bring those qualities into whatever moment you have now. Over time, you might notice that your relationship with yourself softens. Where once you might have been harsh, self-critical, or impatient, you begin to speak inwardly with more kindness. You acknowledge mistakes without letting them define you. You celebrate progress without arrogance, and you understand that growth is not linear. Some days will feel light and easy, others will challenge you. Both are part of the path, and neither is permanent. This way of living doesn't remove life's pain, but it changes your posture toward it. You carry your difficulties differently, not as heavy chains, but as stones in your pocket, reminders of lessons learned and strength gained. Even sorrow becomes a teacher, showing you the depth of your capacity to love, to endure, and to keep moving forward. Mindful living also has a ripple effect. When you show up with presence and compassion, it influences the people around you. A calm tone can dissolve tension, a genuine smile can lift a weary spirit, and your patience can inspire someone else to slow down. These moments may seem small, but they are the invisible threads that weave stronger human connections. In this way, your practice becomes not only personal but communal, a quiet offering to the world. And here's the beautiful part. You don't need to be perfect to make a difference. The intention to live with awareness, even if you stumble, has value. In fact, your imperfections can make your practice more relatable, reminding others that peace is not about flawless living, but about returning, again and again, to what matters most. If there's one thing to carry with you from this journey, let it be this. Every breath is an invitation to begin again. No matter how scattered your thoughts, how busy your day, or how far you feel from your best self, the present moment is always here, waiting for you. You can step into it now with a simple breath, a soft gaze, and an open heart. So, as you close this time of reflection, may you feel encouraged to take these teachings into your daily rhythm. Let them be companions rather than rules, gentle guides rather than rigid demands. Practice them not to escape life, but to embrace it more fully, to notice its texture, its beauty, its fleeting nature, and its endless opportunities for kindness. If this message has resonated with you, I warmly invite you to remain part of this shared space. Subscribe to the channel not as a checkbox, but as a way to walk together in ongoing mindfulness and care. Each new video is a reminder to pause, breathe, and remember the peace that is already within you. Together, we can continue to create a small but meaningful ripple of calm in a restless world.